What's up? This is Spade back here, of course, and welcome back to my channel as usual. And today we'll be talking about uh, version 3.4 and more details about it. So for those who know or don't know, so this time for your verse they actually put announcements about event, like every specific 3.4 event detail here. So I'll explain it one by one, and of course, in the end of all this, we'll end up with character banners, and I'll explain more details about it, which I forgot to mention in my previous video. And of course, there will be also more videos coming up for my Hutao or Yelan, like opinions and guides too. Alright. So first things first, we have a daily login event called May Fortune Find You, which most players already know if you are an old Genshin player, which is the 7-day login event and you get 20 the time fades, right? So it says here during the event, login are 7 days in total to receive the time fade times 10 and other rewards. So the event duration is actually January 19, which is actually like 2 days later or tomorrow. Wait, yeah, it's like 2 days later. I'm in Asia, in Malaysia, so for America you might have a slightly different time. Right. So the event is from 19th of January to 3rd of February for 4 a.m. Yeah. So the eligibility is actually adventure rank 5 or above. Right. So the eligibility is actually quite easy to achieve for new players. Right. So here are the event details. So as you can see, login 7 total days, you get different rewards. So on the first day, you get 1 phase. Second, you get Mora. Third, you get another 2 intertwined fate. Fourth, you get enhancement or the largest quantity, which is 18. I mean the largest quality, not quantity. Like for fifth, you get another 2 intertwined fates. Six, you get 8 hero whips. 7, you get 5 intertwined fates. So in total, you get 10 intertwined fate, 80 million Mora, 80 mystic enhancement or, and 8 heroes whip. Right. So for the second, iridescent splendor lantern rank used. So this is like Chinese New Year for us Chinese people. So as same for Genshin, they also did the same. So during the event, log in to the game to receive intertwined fates, spiritual resins, and other rewards. Right. Each event can be collected until the end of the event. So event duration is from like 5th of February until the end of version 3.4. Right. So the eligibility is even better. It's adventure rank 2 or above. So this is technically just the same, just open the game, go to the game mail, and just collect rewards. So for the first day, we have Intertwined Fate 1, Bountiful Gear X5, Universal Peace 5, and 50,000 more. So these two are technically full. So for the second day, you have 1 Treasure Resin, 5 Tension Bean, and 5 Heroes Weight. Tension Bean is a food, by the way, and Heroes Weight, I don't believe I have to explain more. So on the 7th of February, you'll get another Intertwined Fate and Guide to Diligence, which is actually a book. If I'm not wrong, it's the Paddy one. If I'm not wrong, the book with a Paddy symbol from the right. And you also get Mystic Enhancement all times 10, right? Which is actually quite nice for people who like horrors. Right. So February 8th, you get another Frederickson and some Guide to Go, which is a symbol with like 3 circles and another big circle surrounding it. From the of course, it's a character talent books. These two are actually character talent books. So you also get sanctifying unction, which is actually if you have seen people leveling up artifacts with the potion like thing. Yeah, this is actually the blue color, which is the small one. So you get 6 of them, which is really good. So you for people who are lacking artifacts to level up your current artifacts. So this may come in handy for you. And for last one, February 9, you'll get Intertwined Fate, yep, and Guide to Prosperity with 50,000 more. Yeah, so that's technically the second event. So in the third event, we have quite the point of version 3.4, which is their most important event, the Exquisite Night Chimes event. Right. So in this event, one of the biggest catch is you get to invite a 4-star character from the year of your choice. So regarding about this, so I'll make another video about which 4-star character you're supposed to choose. Like it's better for you, right? So event gameplay duration. Like so it's 19th January to 6th of February. So Yeah, it's actually quite long, like around 2 weeks or more if I'm not wrong. Right. So as you can see, event rewards, this is their biggest event, of course. They have Primo Gems, and most importantly, they have a crown, right? I don't For those who don't know, a crown is where you use for a character talent level up from level 9 to level 10, which is the max for a character's level talent. Yeah. And this one I believe it's a blueprint or just straight up a teapot furniture. Like so hero wits and other normal rewards. So for the eligibility, you have to hit AR 28 or above, right? And you need to complete Archon Quest and New Star Approaches, and you need to complete Archon Quest, the Crane Returns of the Wind, and Yelan Story Quest first to get the best experience from this event. Right, so if you have not completed Archon Quest, the Crane Returns on the Wind, and Yelan Story Quest, during the event, you can enter the event through quick start in the event page. However, keep in mind, it does mention here complete up conquest and new start approaches. Means that you have to finish this, then only you can skip the ones listed down here. So if you haven't finished this, you probably can't start the event. Right. So event phase, it's time gated. So it's 2 days time gated from 19 January, which is 2 days later. So yeah, the time gate will fully unlock at 25th. Like so the end time is 6th of February. Yeah. So there will be a tons of events. So yeah. Uh yeah, complete these phases to gain festive event and reach a certain amount of festive event with a 4-star character from the year of your choice. Yeah, means you get to choose one 4-star character from the year. Like so for the fourth one, we have some minor updates on Genius Invocation TCG, Heated Battle Mode, Omnipotent Guy. So what this mode does is actually they instead of like for those who play TCG, like trading card game, so no more rolling any mental dices, like you have a roll face which is actually annoying for we all sometimes. Like it's totally RNG, we're actually triggered. So now they remove that annoying piece of shit and they just directly gave you egg only dice, which is egg universal dice. So this might be quite fun for those who play a lot of trading card game. Like this is some new things to spice up the game. So next we have second blooming event. So the most important part of this event is Lisa's outfit. Right. So they are giving off a free Lisa's outfit. The eligibility is adventuring 20 or above. And you need to complete the Archon quest Song of Dragon and Freedom, which is Mondstadt's quest. And also Lisa's personal story quest Tempest Fuji chapter at 1. Right. So if you didn't finish this Archon quest, you probably can't start this event. Right. So event phase details. So the event gameplay duration is actually 31st of January, and the outfit redemption duration is also 31st of January. And the end time for both of them is 1 day after like the event actually ends. Right, so the event ends on 13th of February. Meanwhile, the redemption ends at like 14th February. Like, so yeah, it's pretty much all like you just grind the event and you just exchange the outfit. So it says here Lisa's outfit, Sobriquet under shade will be available from for purchase in the character outfit shop after the end of version 3.4, which will be priced at 1,680 Genesis crystals. Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to pay this, so just exchange it. Alright, next we have the Warrior Spirit event, which is a sword fighting event. They are quite new to me, so this event gives you Primo Gems and stuff. And also for people who didn't finish the Archon quest, the Rito Escape Plan, which is Inazuma, so uh, you probably won't be able to do this event. So make sure you keep an eye out for this. So the event duration is from 9th of February to 20th of February, yeah. Okay. And in next we have Almighty Arataki Extraordinary and Exhilarating Extreme Bitobra event. So you can assume this is some simple 2D Pokemon V1 Duo, but you get to control the Pokemons. Like move in and move front and back and everything, right? So the event duration is from 16th February to 27th February. And also event rewards are Primo Gems and other rewards. So the the eligibility is adventure rank ARTD or above, and complete the Arc Conquest Ritual Escape Plan, which is in the also. So if you didn't finish the Ritual Escape Plan, you probably weren't able to start using that. Right, so complete Arc Conquest Perilous Trail first to get the best experience from this event. So for those who didn't finish the Perilous Trails, yes, you can just press quick start to bypass the event, but you may just not experience the full story, like the Arc Conquest. Right. So next we have Overflowing Mastery. So this thing, it's been a while since I see this thing rerun, like this event having a rerun. So what does this event do is double drops with character talent level up materials. Like using Orange Racing, you will be able to like get double the reward, which is technically using Orange Racing, you get the rewards of Hunter Racing, right? For talent level up material domains, which is character talent level up, I believe. Like, so you have 3 chances a day according from my past experience. Eligibility is after activating corresponding talent level up material domains. So the event duration is from 20th February to 27th February. So during these 7 days, make sure you hold back like 60 resin for daily farming. Yeah, as you can see here, it's 3 times a day. Right. So finally, we came up to the most important point, which is character banner. Yes, I believe even though events are actually fun and attractive, but I believe most of the players, I can't say all, but I say most of the players are actually like more excited and hyped for the character banners. Alright, so in version 3.4, we are going to have 4 banners. Yep, you heard me right. We're going to have 4 banners again. Right, so there are 2 in the first half and 2 in the second half. So in the first half, we'll have our item, the new Dendro 5-star character, along with our Yaksha over here, the Xiao, so or Jiao. Okay, so also weapons. So second half we will have a hotel and a Yilan. So let's talk about the banners right now. So about the first half, we have our item. He's new actually. So with some upgrade 4 stars. So regarding about this, like 4 stars, it's actually not too good, I should say. Like Xian, I won't mention more. Like, I mean, she can be used, but rarely, right? And Yunjin is good. I believe a lot of people actually found her potential for normal attack DPSs, so she's actually really good for normal attack DPS. And another one we have is Yao Yao. So she's also a brand new 4-star Dendro Poang. Yes. And most importantly, she's an on-field healer using her elemental skill. Right. And regarding about our item, for our item, I believe a lot of people are like planning which banner should I pull when it comes to this kind of problems. So there are 4 banners, right? So my opinion is, if you have enough primos, and you have a hotel or a Yilan already, you can consider pulling our item. And for Xiao, he is actually quite abandoned. Not abandoned. He's actually in a weird situation. You see, like the 4-star characters like didn't really help him at all, to be honest. So for this time, for those who urge to pull in the first half, and like you can't hold back your gambling addiction, yeah, just pull for our item. Right? So our item is better than Xiao at C1 if you're going for constellations. Yeah, our item C1 is more worth than Xiao's. I know a lot of people have arguments about, like, no, you see Xiao C1 is actually better. He gives 1 more dash, more damage, more energy recharge. Yeah, but first problem is you need to recharge. You need to make sure you can somehow take care about the dashes cooldown to come back. Like, since he have no alternate way to reduce the cooldown of like Xiao's Xiao's elemental skill. So without elemental skill, he technically needs another animal battery way to still charge up. So like C1 difference overall isn't really that important until you C6 him. Right. So why do I still say our item C1 is actually better? So his C1, if I'm not mistaken, every hit from his elemental skill projectiles reduces his elemental burst cooldown by 1 second. If I'm not wrong. Overall improves his rotation and everything. Right. So if you are really willing to pull for character, I would suggest you to go for all item. If you can hold back your urge and addiction, I will tell you to save to second half. Right. Okay, next for weapon banner. So as you can see, the weapon banner is kind of green, which means that holdovers finally realized that Mother Earth is actually in danger. They are trying to save them. Yeah. Okay. Jokes aside. So, as known, our item is rerunning with Xiao. So, no, I mean Xiao is running with our item. So they have both the signature weapons here, like Folio Incision and PJWS, we call Primordial Chipping Spear. So my personal opinion on this banner is actually not that worth it. So first of all, I know our item's weapon is actually really broken. Like gives a ton of crit damage and like gives very really decent crit rate on the weapon passive and allows you to like skill on elemental mastery to do damage for your damage. Like normal attack, charge attack, punch, and elemental skill. But however, the other weapon here, as you can see, the Primordial Dripping Spear is actually not too worth, in my opinion, because this weapon existed in the standard banner. So, for those who have a Primordial Jadewing Spear already, you can choose to skip this banner unless you really, really love our item. You can just try to get the Light of Folio Incision. Like, for those who don't have a Primordial Jadewing Spear, and you still like our item, okay, I will tell you sadly, don't pull for this banner, alright? Unless you want to choke so much in copium, you have no primos left for the second half. So it's actually quite obvious when you look at overall the weapon banner. Like you can see actually Hoyoverse is trying to create a pathway for you to hit second half. So in my opinion, just try to skip this banner if possible. Right, try to skip this weapon banner possible. As our item, there are alternate options for his 5-star weapons like the Harangi Bakufutsu, Mid Splitter Reforge, the Summit Shaper, the Harangi Bakufutsu, and other more options. Alright, for the 4-star Sacrificial Bow is actually good. And the Witsive too, the Witsive gives like crit damage as substats, and the weapon passive gives you like attack, EM, or elemental damage bonus. So these two are good, but the others are kind of weird. So the flute is a quite mid weapon. I really don't see this weapon on much people using it. So the Lithic Spear is good, but it's restricted to Liyue characters, and also the team must be in Liyue too. Not in Liyue, the team must be characters from Liyue. So technically you need to have a full Liyue character team to fully utilize the weapon passive of a Lithic Spear. And finally, this Rain Slasher, aka Pain Slasher, I believe most players already know. So this weapon is usable, but it's very niche at the same time. So I've actually tried this weapon on Diluc. It works on a Virgin Diluc or a Vape Diluc. Not Vape, or Melt Diluc if I'm not mistaken. But I use it on Virgin Diluc. Right. So coming to our second half, we have our long lost hotel rerun, and we have another armpit, Yelan rerun. Alright. So first of all, we have Hotel, right? So Hotel is, after like so long, almost a 1 year and more, she finally got her rerun deserved, right? So during this rerun, a lot of like players will probably realize that Hotel is not that necessary for a team anymore. I mean, she is still good, but compared to last time where everyone say you must have a Hotel, for the current situation, you don't need to have a Hotel anymore, right? Because there are alternate options like Yoimiya and other element DPSs, right? So I mean, for those players who still don't have a Pyro DPS, or you have a Diluc but you feel like your Diluc's off, or the damage is not following up, or you don't have a Yoimiya, you can pull for a Hutao, as she is considered a really friendly and strong free to play DPS. Right. So for Hu Tao's and Yelan's banner, will be will be rerunning with three of the best 4 stars in Liyue. So first we have Beidou. Beidou is a really strong electro sub DPS and off-field damage dealer. And then we have Ningguang, which is a really good 4 star Geo DPS. I know some of the stupid Noah mains are going to say, no, 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 Noah is better. Of course, your Noah is better. It's C6, but it's only useful when you have a burst. Without a burst, your Noah is completely junk and piece of trash. Alright. And finally, we have a Xingqiu. Right, so Xingqiu, I believe I don't have to talk more about his value. So if it's possible, you are available, you can try to wheel on this weapon banner, as I don't have to say. Besides Yelan, Xingqiu is one of the most cheapest and most friendly free to play 4 star characters, as he is the only character before Yelan is released, the one and only character which applies hydro off field constantly and fast, and also produce damage reduction. Alright, for Hu Tao and Yelan, I will also release a guide in the future, more videos like small tips and guides about them. Right, so for Yelan, so for event wish for her, so it's same with Hu Tao, so we technically just see the same 4 stars. Alright, so for Yelan, a lot of people will probably be thinking like, if she is worth pulling for new players. Okay, so for honest words here, Yelan is worth pulling, I will say. So for those who don't have a C6 Xingqiu, or who don't have a Kokomi, you can pull for Yelan. Yes. So because Yelan provides utility, like uh she has the same attribute as Xingqiu. She provides hydro off-field damage and off-field application. Although her damage is higher than Xingqiu, but her hydro application still loses to Xingqiu. Right, this is somehow kind of a balanced way that Horioverse is giving out. So besides having a higher damage scaling, she is also actually what should I say? Yeah, her ultimate also gives extra damage boost. Right, so I'll make a separate video for both of the girls here. Right, so that's technically my opinion for the characters. And for the weapon banner in second half, it's one of the most OP weapon banners, overpowered, I have ever fucking seen since the last Futari run. So the last Futari run weapon banner, it was Staff of Homa with a Wolf's Greystone. So it's actually really worth it last time. But however, now finally once in a blue moon, this thing existed for a rerun. Alright, so why should I say this banner is actually broken? So if you have a Yelan, so both of the limited 5-star weapons are actually cracked. So first was Aqua Simulacra, which is Yelan's signature weapon, gives a ton of crit damage, but the weapon passive is slightly copium. So if you want to fully utilize weapon passive, I believe probably only Yelan can handle the full weapon passive. Right. Of course, there are also other characters that can handle this weapon, like other off-field DPSs, Venti, Fischl, and other bow off-field supports or characters. Alright, but I believe this weapon is best in fit for Yelan. Just try not to cope too much, right? So for the next one, we have the literally the most broken weapon that everyone has been shouting and screaming for ever since Hu Tao's last rerun. So the weapon is Staff of Homa, aka Staff of Homeless or Staff of Coma. Right? Why is it homeless? Because you might get this weapon and you might be homeless. That's why we call it Staff of Homeless. Alright. So this weapon is actually cracked because it gives like insane crit damage as a pole arm, and then this weapon have a really high base attack too. Right. So this weapon is good on literally almost any poem character since its crit damage stats. So for this weapon, you can give Hu Tao, of course, it's her best in slot. No one can bypass that. Or if you don't have a Hu Tao but you got this weapon by accident and you have a Xiao, you can give it to a Xiao. If you don't have Xiao or Hu Tao, you can give it to your Zhongli. If you don't have a Zhongli, you can give it to your Xianling. Or if you don't have a Xiangling, you can give it to a Raiden, because I've seen someone did it on Raiden. Yeah, it means that you can technically give this weapon to almost literally any single pawn character, because it's a crit damage substance. So this is why this is one of the most OP weapon banners in the game. So for 4 stars, this weapon banner also made it up for it. So first we have Rust. Alright, so Rust is a really good weapon for bow DPSs who relies on normal attack. So for those who have a Yoimiya, you can consider trying to R5 the weapon for her, as a R5 Rust is actually really broken. It bypasses Skyward Harp, and in some situations also bypasses Amos Bow. It's the second best weapon for 4 star that can actually bypass so many 5 stars unless the weapon is Thundering Pulse. And next we have Favonia's Sword. Favonia's Sword is also a really good weapon, as you can give it to multiple supports like Bennett, Jean, and other characters who uses sword as support, or your Traveler, Dendro Traveler, or Electro Traveler, right? And we also have a Favonia's Codex here. So for Favonia's Codex, this weapon is actually questionable, but it also works on some supports like Sucrose or Mona or others. Right, for the spear we have the Dragon's Bane. So Dragon's Bane is actually a free to play Huta option, but you just need to balance out the crit rate. Or you can use it on a Xiangling too, but just make sure to take care about the ER. Or you can use it on a freaking EM Raiden, which is kind of weird to use. Alright, and the last one we have a Lithic Blade. So Lithic Blade is technically same with Lithic Spear, but it's just slightly more weird looking. Yes. So that's technically all I want to say in version 3.4. That's technically all the details. Alright. So for the first half, I would like to give some advice, which is you can consider pulling out item if you already have 2 of the characters at the second half. If not, I will suggest you to save up for the second half. Right. So for those who don't have you can choose to skip the first half, but keep in mind that the opinions I'm going to say after this or before this is all based on, do you want to plan your primos or do you want to spend them wisely? Alright, so for those who really like the character, just go on pulling. I won't stop you. So the opinions I'm talking here is regarding about you want to spend your primos wisely, you want to plan how to pull at your maximum efficiency. And next is also striking for a graduate account, which is actually passing the 412 of Spiral Abyss with 9 stars, right? So for item and Xiao, to be honest, I don't really recommend them both. Alright, of course the weapon banner too. So for those who can hold back your gambling urge or your gambling addiction, please hold back, as the second half you will have tons of chances to pull. Alright, so for the first half, I would like to suggest you to skip. If you really can't urge it, pull on our item, as our item and his constellations are more worth than Xiao and Xiao's constellations. Unless you are a Xiao simp, then go ahead, I won't stop you. Alright, if you successfully skip the first half, welcome to the second half, when MiHoYoverse is going to create the highest banner money flow in the whole game history. Alright, so for those who are actually pulling for characters here, okay, let's assume a few situations. First, you have a Yoimiya and you have a Xingqiu. Alright, at that point, if you have a Yoimiya and you have a Xingqiu, what I would like to say is I will suggest you to pull for a Yelan. Yes, in order, Yelan's priority is actually higher than Hu Tao, because Yelan's value is just too high as a C05 star character. Alright, I know a lot of people are going to argue like, no, Hu Tao is better and whatever bullshit. Alright, I am a Hu Tao main for quite a once long while, and then I know how you all feel, but to be brutally honest, Yelan's priority is higher than Hu Tao. So when you hit second phase and you really do be asking for like who should I pull when I only can guarantee one character. So my opinion is try to get a C0 Yelan. As getting a Yelan, you are open to more team comps because you don't have to restrict your account to only a Xingqiu like me. But I already have alternate options like an Ayato. And so for those who don't have an Ayato and only have a Xingqiu, you can consider pulling Yelan, as Yelan is really useful. For the next thing is Hu Tao, alright? And so Hu Tao had existed last time and the whole world is screaming for her to rerun. So she finally got her rerun, but is she still worth it? Like, is it still a must have? I will personally say she is still worth it, but she at the same time she's definitely not a must have. Alright, so at this point, Hu Tao is pull under two situations. One is you don't have a Yoimiya. Second is you don't have a Diluc. Alright, then you can consider pulling. If you have a Diluc or you have a Yoimiya, you can consider skipping Hu Tao. I mean Hu Tao is still really good, but you can save your Primos to spend on Yelan. Yelan is actually quite broken, to be honest. Alright, for the second weapon banner, I believe I said just now I don't have to mention too much. Right, as all above, I have finished my points and details about version 3.4 along with the banners. So for those who watch here, thank you for spending 31 minutes or 32 minutes watching this video. So thank you very much for your support and appreciation. And the tips and guides of the video will be released within 1 week from today, which is 17th of January. Alright, so thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.